Hey, what's up, everyone? Happy Friday, and I hope this Friday is the culmination of an amazing week where you had some accomplishments, some realizations, and you are now a better person, more accomplished person than you were at the beginning of the week. And to continue on that theme, I want to talk about something called the delay. That's what I call it. I haven't heard anybody else talk about it. I know you've heard of it in some capacity, but I want to talk about it more. And here's two examples. Think about a time when you were trying to remember somebody's name and you were putting a lot of mental and physical effort into it, trying to figure out who this person is. You couldn't figure it out. You went about your day. Maybe 1, 2 in the morning, you woke up in the morning wide awake and this person's name was on your mind. You remembered it. That is the delay. Here's another example that my musicians might connect to. Maybe play the guitar or the piano. Think about a time where you were playing the guitar and you were trying to get a chord or you're trying to play a specific part of a piece and it just wasn't coming to you. It was so hard. Or maybe you were sitting in front of the piano and you're trying to play a piece and it just was not coming. You just couldn't do it. And maybe you stepped away from that guitar or that piano or that instrument. Maybe you picked it up a couple days later, a week later. Without any practice, just miraculously, you can now play that piece after a certain amount of time. That's the delay. So the delay I'm referring to is this background processing that happens without us even knowing in our body. And it happens when we put an intention in our body, we set something in motion, and there are things going on under the hood that we just don't know about. But guess what? They are absolutely there. This is really important when it comes to becoming your best self, especially in the fitness and nutrition realm, because a mistake I see a lot is that people just don't give enough time for a specific routine or a protocol or a diet to take root. So they'll go on a diet or they'll start an exercise routine, and 1 or 2 weeks later, they're not seeing the results and they're saying, okay, I'm done, this thing isn't working. But they are not recognizing that delay that happens, and it could be shorter and it could be longer. But the goal is that we set something in motion and then we understand that things are going on under the hood that will make that happen at some future realized date that we don't know when it is. So everything we're doing is not for right now. It is for some point in the future that we never know when or how it's going to show up. But we know it's going to happen because our body is always processing in the background. So what that means is that if you are putting a small change in place in hopes that it'll grow to a bigger change, remember that that delay is there. Think about if you had a factory that produced boats, and you're producing boats like clockwork. You can produce boats fast whenever you want. And then all of a sudden, an order comes in and you have to now produce airplanes at the same factory. So you can't just start producing airplanes at the same rate that you're producing the boats. You have to change the machinery, you have to change the layout of the factory, new materials. So there's going to be a delay from changing from the boats to the airplanes. But after that delay, after that initial period of slowdown, then things are going to be flying high again. It happens also when we change our diet. So if somebody goes from a low carb diet to let's say you're eating a regular diet and then we go to a low carb diet. You know, our body is still that factory that is producing boats. So our body is still in carb processing mode. So that means that in order for our body to be that factory to switch to producing a different product or being efficient on a different product, there's that delay, there's that time, that transition time that has to happen. So the point is that just keep in mind that whenever you put something in place, chances are that it will take a little while to materialize. So keep the intention in place, think about the background. It's like a recipe. We put stuff in the pot, but then we have to cook it. So let the things cook, let your intentions cook, let your actions cook. And eventually you're gonna have a really tasty recipe. Remember that delay, keep putting things in place, and keep kicking butt. Take care.